Oh, I think we're ready to have a show. I'll do the intro. Why not? Let's do it.
This is your #1 morning show.
Way the future.
Oh, it looks good on you, though.
Dan Benjamin.
That's your name, dude.
And a good day to you, sir.
War were declared. You ready?
Wait a minute now.
Let's go!
Yeah, I like it.
And now, from the barbecue capital of the world,
Look at his face.
It's radio, but on the internet.
it's Dan Benjamin Live!
And look at that. I'm wearing the same shirt that I have on in the intro there. Who knew? Who knew? That's what happens sometimes. It's actually a little warm today here in Austin. It's like in the 80s now. Well, thank you, everyone, for welcoming me back. Yes, I apologize for the irregular posting schedule last week. Got a lot going on. And things are I think we're finally over the little hump thing. And, maybe not. I don't want to jinx anything. So I am Dan Benjamin. You can follow me on anywhere, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. It's at Dan Benjamin, wherever you want to go. And by the way, I would just want to say thanks. I saw a bunch of people coming in and supporting the show. It makes a big difference. I just got to say, podcast sponsorships are horrible right now. Unless you're Joe Rogan, no exaggeration, they're pretty freaking horrible. So I'm counting on you to support the show. Give me $1. Give me $5 a month. I'm not joking. I need the money to survive. So help out, patreon.com/Dan Benjamin. Of course, while you're here, like and subscribe and ring the little bell right there. That lets YouTube know when you smash the like button that you are here and listening. It promotes the show up in their little algorithm things. And then, of course, subscribing lets you know when I go live on the show. As of today, according to what I see on the screen, Periscope is still working. So I don't know when it's going to stop working, but we'll see. But I did get into the Twitter media thing, so I will still be able to somehow get it on Twitter live. I don't know. And I've also applied finally to get it on LinkedIn, although I don't know why. But anyway, hi, Shad. Shad is great to see me back. Well, thank you. I wasn't gone that long. I saw a really great documentary on kind of the making of the Alien movies. And I don't know where it's available to stream. You can buy it, but it's really cool. So I'll have to put a link to that in the show notes, and we've got a lot of good notes for you. So I'll see if I can remember to put it in there. But by the way, today is, what is it? No, I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to look at the phone. I'm not going to look at the computers. It's Monday. It's March 15th, right? Was I right? I was right. Just a few days till Mom's birthday. So, we're here for that. But more importantly, I've got some news to tell you about. So let's get right into it. Biden. Oh, we got something for Biden.
Come on, man.
Yeah, he has signed the $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill before he went out and gave a speech to the nation. Now, I know some of these links are from last week, but I've got things to say about him. It's never too late. Is it too late? No, it's not too late. So he signed this, and then he ran out there and ran right out and gave a little speech. Well, the interesting thing was that he did this Thursday. He did this before he said he was actually even ready to do it. But what does it mean? It means that there's about $2 trillion in this COVID stimulus legislation. It's been his highest priority. He kept talking about how he was going to do it. Here he did it. And what this means is that most Americans are going to get a $1,400 check in the mail. Check is in the mail. But here's a little quote from Biden. He says, "This historic legislation is about rebuilding the backbone of this country and giving people of this nation, working people, middle-class folks, people who built the country, a fighting chance." Are these the people who built the country? I don't know what that means. Did these people, but if you see me scratching it here, inside of this t-shirt, why do they put the tags inside of the t-shirt right here? Those of you who are listening, you'll just have to guess what I'm talking about. This is not the place that I want the tag. I want the tag at the very bottom, or just stick with the one up here that I can rip out so easily. Why is it here? Banana Republic, what are you doing? Okay, next, I guess I need this. Now I need to have this. All right. No, don't. Are you kidding me? All right. Someone came in here and changed. You saw the guy. Did you see the guy last week who came in here and changed this? I got him on video. So check this out. Don Lemon, Anderson Cooper, and Chris Cuomo had huge rating drops since December. Why? What happened back then? Trump happened that back then. That's right. Across the board for CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News, lesser extent to Fox News. But check out this diagram right here. It's a little one. They're calling it the Trump slump. And the total audience was really peaking. And then there's this huge decline. Why? It's what I said. It's what I said. They have nothing to talk about with Trump out of office anymore. They don't know what to talk about. So their shows are boring and people aren't interested in it. Lots of diagrams. Now, you know, the old rule is that you don't pay any attention to any chart or diagram ever promoted on Twitter. But look at this one. Tucker Carlson suffered the least, and by a lot. So go check these out. It's pretty interesting. But if your main topic was Trump, whether you were pro or against Trump, Trump really did make headlines. You can't take that away from him, no matter what you think about him. There were great headlines and great news stories. And by great, I don't necessarily mean good, but I mean interesting. While we're talking about the politics stuff, Senator Schumer and Gillibrand are urging Cuomo to, we got to do that for
That's
that
your
one.
name, dude.
Are urging Cuomo to resign amid all these sexual harassment allegations. This isn't a story I talk about a lot on this show because it's a whole thing. You could do a whole separate show on that. And but I will report it. And right now, there's really not been any updates about it, but it's bad optics. Can we say that? Bad optics for him. Okay, hold on. This is interesting, and it is time to talk about COVID.
Excuse me. I'm in need of medical attention.
Okay. So the COVID-19 Oxford AstraZeneca, why don't we call it by the right name? Oxford AstraZeneca shot, which of course people in the UK always refer to as a jab. Now we've talked about this before. I will never call it a jab, and nobody in America will call it a jab. But because this is from Sky News, it's called a jab. So we honor them by playing the national anthem of the United Kingdom as we talk about this story. But the WHO says that it is excellent. AstraZeneca vaccination is excellent, and there's no reason not to use it. Well, it sounds pretty good, right? I mean, wouldn't you say? But the problem is no one agrees with them. So what they said is that there is no causal relationship established between the shot, thank you for calling it a shot, and the health problems that are reported. The health problems specifically are things like blood clots. And they're saying, nope, it's fine. Everything's fine. Move along. Nothing to see here. And the actual quote is, it's very important we are hearing safety signals because if we were not hearing about safety signals, that would suggest there is not enough review and vigilance. And that all that we're looking at is what we always look at. Any safety signal must be investigated. And this is spokeswoman Margaret Harris in Geneva. So who came? Someone changed. I swear someone changed this. Someone came in here and changed. You know what? This app is buggy. That's what it is. But anyway, Margaret Harris said that. Meanwhile, as she's saying this, right? Major European nations suspend use of AstraZeneca vaccine. A cascading number of European countries, including Germany, France, Italy, and Spain, suspended use of AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine Monday over reports of dangerous blood clots in some recipients, though the company and international regulators say there's no evidence. Listen, you're not hearing about this with any of the other shots. This one is prevalent in those countries. They're seeing problems. The reality is, it's probably safe, and it's probably safe for most people, but there are issues with some people. And this is what I don't understand, and maybe you guys can explain this to me.
Dude.
Anybody who comes in and says, I wonder if it's safe, gets immediately attacked by everybody saying, of course it's safe, go get your vaccination. I'm sorry, I think it's reasonable to question the safety of everything. Is it safe to get in your car? Maybe, maybe not. What are the risks? Is it safe to ride a bike on the side of the road? There are risks with that too. Is it safe to eat peanuts? Well, for most people, it's just fine, but other people might get killed. So to say that one thing is safe for everybody under every circumstance, this is not being smart. But it's good to know what the risks. So is there a risk of a blood clot from the AstraZeneca vaccine? It seems like there might be a risk of that. Does that mean you shouldn't go get it? No. It means you should be aware of the risk, right? So if you're aware of the risk, when you go to get it, you're just being smart. Well, why do they say that there isn't? Because, it's going to look really bad for the WHO, and it's really going to undermine their credibility if it turns out that there is actually a real legit risk for this. But this is the problem with vaccines or anything that's given to such a large number of people all at the same time, is that you don't know what the cause of it is. Maybe these people were prone to blood clots. Maybe they all ate the same weird lunch and it gave them a blood clot. Who knows? That's why they're saying there's no causal relationship. It's not that there isn't one. It's that they haven't found one yet. And that's the difference. So remember what I always say, keep your eyes open. When you go and make a decision, make an informed one. If you know that there's a potential risk for something and you decide to do it, your eyes are open and you're in the clear. Just open your eyes. That's all I ever say.
I don't stop nothing, you idiot.
See? And then, of course, more. Denmark has suspended use of AstraZeneca vaccine as a precautionary measure. So go check that out. And, oh, thank you. Yeah, let's agree to the cookies. Ireland pausing on the AstraZeneca jab over the blood clot concerns. Yep, all of that too. And now here's a big question for a lot of people. And people have come to me. They stop me on the street. I'm walking down the street. And people will come up to me. And before COVID, they'd grab me by the lapels and just sort of shake me and ask me the question. Now they're more respectful. They keep a distance. And they say, can I drink between vaccine doses? Can I drink between vaccine doses? And why wouldn't you be able to? Well, I'll tell you, because you shouldn't in some cases. Here's what they say. Chronic, heavy drinking and binge drinking can suppress your immune system. Surprise. But this is if a doctor says it, in this case, Dr. Richard Kennedy, doesn't say doctor. He's a professor of medicine at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. I guess he's a doctor. He's a co-director of the Vaccine Research Group. And he says there are plenty of reasons not to drink alcohol, but an occasional drink here and there, including a celebratory toast after your second shot, won't have an effect. Okay, so I guess don't binge drink because it suppresses your immune system. Is there anyone that doesn't know that heavy drinking and binge drinking suppresses your immune system? I don't know. But it says here, what exactly does it mean that a vaccine is 92%, has 92% efficacy? Does it mean there's an 8% chance of getting COVID-19? And if so, why would anyone want to get a vaccine that's only 65% efficacy? And so here's the answer. It says efficacy rates and effectiveness rates and point estimates and confidence intervals should appear at least a little confusing to most non-biostatisticians. The concepts rely on statistical thinking that many aren't familiar with. This is Brianne. Hi, Brianne. Brianne Barker. Is that our listener? Is that listener Brianne? I don't know. But she's a virologist at Drew University. And they say that this is an oversimplification when you hear that a 92% efficacy rate would mean that if 100 vaccinated people, 8 of them would get sick. That's not what it means. It means a vaccine with 92% efficacy means your chances of getting the disease are much less than 8%. It means that if you were exposed to the disease, your chances of getting infected would be 92% less if you were vaccinated than if you weren't. See how that's different? They say if you want to geek out on the exact math on how much your chances of getting COVID drops after a vaccine, you have to know what the probability of getting sick is. And that varies based on the population that you look at. So if you originally had a 10% chance of getting sick without being vaccinated, and then you got a vaccine with an efficacy rate of 92%, your chance of getting sick would drop from 10% to less than 1%. It would actually be 0.8% to be exact. And in reality, the trials found that the probability of getting sick in the placebo groups was much less than 10%. In the Pfizer trial, it was 0.79% or less than 1 per 100 people. Participants who got the real vaccine had a 0.04% of getting COVID. That's 4 in 10,000 people that would get it. So it's not 92%, 8% get sick. It's much, much lower than that. It also says something to the fact of how little chance you actually have of getting it anyway, less than 10%. So keep that in mind. Now, what about this Novavax COVID-19 vaccine, which has a 96.4% efficacy? Well, they're saying that it has 100% efficacy against the severe form of the disease, but less protection against the variants. Remember, we keep talking about the B117 variant. Here's what it says in trials that are coming out. It says that we are very encouraged by the data showing the NVXCoV2373 vaccine not only provided complete protection against the most severe forms of the disease, but also dramatically reduced mild and moderate disease across both trials. This is Stanley C. Erck, E-R-C-K. We've talked about him before. Starting to remember these names. Okay, did you see the Oakley face mask? Oakley is coming out with a face mask. Sorry for those of you at home listening. It says that this is designed to handle all of the issues that people have with masks. It's supposed to fit correctly, sit properly, prevent your lenses from fogging up. But it's, I guess, supposed to still be affordable. It has a form-fitting silicone outer gasket for a tight seal. It has replaceable filters. You can even put an N95 and dust particle version in it. And check this dude out. He looks pretty cool. He's got the thing in there. So it's got a tight nose bridge. It's got a perimeter gasket. It's got filtration. It's got adjustable straps. It's got what they call an eyewear channel. And look, here's even a video from Oakley. Check this out.
Hi, my name is Ben Mounier.
Oh, good.
I am
it's
the
gonna
head
be one
of
of these long
product
videos.
strategy.
All right, you shut up,
Design.
man. Does he ever even put? Okay, here it is. He's modeling it right here. Check that out. You know, welcome, Oakley. You know, pretty cool. So if you want a mask that maybe looks a little different and fits a little better, I kind of want one of these. You know, I said it's affordable. They haven't announced a price yet. At least they didn't list it in this article, but they say it's going to be about $60. They say $60 plus. That's a lot for a mask. But if it's one where you can replace the filters, you can reuse it, it's comfortable, glasses don't fog up, maybe it's worth it. We're going to need to wear masks for a long time, even after the big concerns and risks are gone. So you heard of this company called Beeple? Beeple? Well, Beeple sold an NFT for $69 million. And this is the picture of the NFT. For those of you who don't really know what an NFT is, the best way to think of an NFT, or at least the way I think of it, and I know this isn't a perfect analogy, but an NFT is, for lack of a better explanation, it's a digital item. It's a single item that is digital, but only one legit version of it exists. So why would you want one of these? Where they're collectible. Why it would sell for $69 million through Christie's, you got me, but I don't understand why art sells for that much anyway. It's a pretty cool collage, I guess, if you're into this kind of thing. But if you just think of it as a digital item, digital artwork that is one of a kind, that has true ownership, the ownership can be traced. So if you sell it, it's impossible to forge it. Why is anything collectible? Why do people collect watches? Why do people collect, anything? I don't know. Well, these are collectible items, but this set a record. So whoop-de-doo. Self-driving startups. Remember how there were so many of those for a long time? Well, apparently, according to this Ars Technica article, they are going to be a thing from the past. They're going away. People are just not as interested in them. A slow transition to driverless. People were saying, in 5 years, everything's going to be driverless. Most people don't even really want that. The idea of being able to just get in your car and sit there and it takes you where you want to go. I love that idea. I think everyone loves that idea, but is it realistic? I don't think it's very realistic. Okay, so here's an article that I thought was really interesting. It's on like Fox 31. What city is this? Colorado, as John Roderick would say. Faking a commute into work can help remote employees' mental health. Isn't that interesting? They say this was bound to happen sooner or later. Since it's news, I should read it in the news style, shouldn't I? This was bound to happen sooner or later, but new research proves it. The average work-from-home employee is finally missing their daily commute into the office. With so many Coloradans working remotely, the transition from home life to work life has been tough, and psychologists say it's actually having a negative impact on our mental health. Basically, what it says is that people were averaging about a 38-minute commute. But that's as much as you see the drive could have seemed frustrating, psychologists are now saying that buffer between work and home is actually a necessary thing. And that time, even though you might be feeling frustration while you're driving, you're actually feeling good about that transition. I'm leaving work. I'm going home. And now we don't have that, do we? Even if you have a separate room of your house that's your office, or if you're working outside or whatever, that it's just not enough. The typical remote employee is taking on about 48 minutes of extra work per day, and you don't have the transition from work to home anymore or vice versa. So it's something to think about. So they're saying that maybe you can do something to avoid what they're calling emotional exhaustion. It's a very real thing. I worked from home and worked on my own for many, many years, and I can tell you having that separation is incredibly critical. They say here in the article that need to transition is a human need, and we need to be creative if we're working from home. We need to be creative in terms of how we go about getting that need back. This is Dr. Ross. They just call him Dr. Ross. Dr. Ross says that making it a daily ritual to step away from your work, from home space, even if it's just getting in and out of a car, those transitions are important. But going for a walk, walking around your neighborhood a little if it's safe, getting on your bike. I like how they've got to qualify by if it's safe. That's how worried about litigiousness these people are. They can't say, go for a walk around your neighborhood, because what if your neighborhood isn't safe, right? Well, the guy on the news said I should go for a walk and then I got mugged. It's his fault. I'm suing the station. You see how screwed up we are as a country, that they feel obligated to say, if it's safe to take a walk, then you should. You know what? We're grown-ups. Just say, I recommend taking a walk. I'm going to know if I can't take a walk in my own neighborhood. Thank you very much. What is this world coming to? All right. Canoe has revealed what this article in The Verge is calling a bubbly electric pickup. Check this thing out. This looks like a regular pickup truck with the front of it kind of does look like a bubble, doesn't it? I don't like the look of this thing. I think I like the ugly Tesla truck even better than this thing. I know there's people who think that the Tesla looks like the future of trucks. Well, I don't think it is, but this thing, why don't they show, look, have you noticed that they don't actually show a front shot of this thing, except for this one photo here? That's strange looking to me. And it looks flimsy and it looks wrong. And, I don't understand it, and I don't like it, and I hope this is not the direction that trucks go in. Trucks should be mean. They should look mean. They should have a personality. They should be tough. They should be strong, and they should not look like that. There's also this, have you heard about what they're calling the Mini Moke? I feel wrong saying that for some reason. But this is a French vehicle customizer, Lazareth, okay? You say so, managed to build a modern tribute to the tiny utility vehicle using an aluminum chassis and the V8 from a Maserati. It has 460 horsepower, this little custom thing that they built. And I just saw this and I thought, this is really cool. My audience wants to hear about it. This is exactly the kind of thing that they show up for. And look, it's driving through the water. Isn't that cool? Kind of. Okay, forensic experts are questioning the Tiger Woods crash probe.
Get ready
to
break free.
Must be Fox News. Thanks for the ad, jerks. The LA County Sheriff's Department made several critical decisions in the investigation of Tiger Woods' devastating crash that were favorable to Tiger Woods, who was given the benefit of the doubt despite indications that he was inattentive or maybe had fallen asleep at the wheel. Sheriff Alex Villanueva, we like him,
Your name, dude.
on February 23rd said that they did not see any evidence of impairment. A day later, he announced the crash was purely an accident. There's no need to bring in a drug recognition expert. There's no need to evaluate Tiger Woods for any kind of impairment. He's just fine. But USA Today Sports were told by forensic experts that the available evidence in the case indicates Woods was inattentive or asleep and went right into the median instead of staying in the lane. LASD is not releasing any further information at this time. The Sheriff's Department told USA Today Sports in a statement, the traffic collision investigation is ongoing and traffic investigators continue to work to determine the cause of the collision. The question isn't if he did fall asleep at this point. It's why did he fall asleep? I have been tired.
Only 9% of plastic.
Thank you, CNN. I have been tired and I've driven tired. I've never fallen asleep. But I'll tell you what, those few times when I have been very tired and driven tired, it was at night. I was leaving someplace, going to my house usually. That's when I would feel tired. And I've never nodded off, but don't drive like that. But this was during the day. bright, and those things tend to keep you awake. So, I don't know. Tiger, what are you doing? We'll never know. We'll never hear the real answer. All right. A little bit more follow-up on that Cuomo thing. New York Assembly has approved impeachment investigation into Andrew Cuomo. They picked a real great picture of that guy here. But they basically authorized their Judiciary Committee to start an impeachment investigation into sexual misconduct. I will follow up when I hear more about that. Costco is running low on things like, no, you thought I was going to say disinfecting wipes? No. And you thought I was going to say toilet paper? No. You know what they're running out on? Shipping containers. They're running out of shipping containers in the West Coast, and this is causing delays and higher delivery costs. But in addition to that, cheese. That's right, feta especially. But they're running low on cheese. They're running low on seafood. Why? They don't know. But crab and lobster sales rose 60% this year compared to 2019. Is it that people are just cooking more at home? Olive oil. And there's a lot of fake olive oil out there, so be careful. Furniture, sporting goods, lawn and garden equipment, all stuff that people use when they're at home, right? And now they're running out of these things. Have you heard about this new trend? Liquor-infused toothpicks. Who sent me this? But they say that it's a great way to enjoy spirits without drinking. So you have these liquor-infused toothpicks. Here's some. These are from Danison. I love that name. Single malt. And so you get a toothpick that tastes like single malt whiskey. Okay. This is a weird one here. Maybe we even have some weird music for it. The Texas Rangers have stopped using hypnosis after the Dallas Morning News investigation revealed dubious science. So this is weird. These Texas Rangers have been using hypnosis to investigate crimes, apparently sending dozens of men and women to prison and some to their deaths. Are they hypnotizing them to implant memories or distort their memories? It's very weird. The Memory Room, which was published in April of last year, revealed that Texas officers continue to turn to the debunked technique, sending dozens of men and women to prison and some to their deaths. The Texas Rangers are among the most prolific hypnotists in the state. They performed at least 1,700 hypnosis sessions since the 1980s. They use hypnosis to investigate, for example, an attempted kidnapping. As recently as October 2020, 2 months before the program was ended, various officers of the Department of Public Safety performed a total of 8 hypnosis sessions last year, including 3 that involved murder investigations. But what they're saying is that they go in there saying that they're hypnotizing you to help you remember, but then maybe they're inceptioning some kind of a memory. Yeah, Brienne says we used to soak toothpicks in Fireball and take them to school. Yeah, that's a common thing. We used to soak them in, you take cinnamon and you'd put cinnamon in there and then soak the toothpicks and they'd be like spicy cinnamon toothpicks. There is a space explosion that has revealed the birth of a black hole. A supernova-like explosion dubbed the Camel appears to be the result of a newborn black hole eating a star from the inside out. So here's a picture of what this looks like here in Wired. It says that in 2018, astronomers were shocked to find a bizarre explosion in a galaxy 200 million light years away. It wasn't like a normal supernova, none that they'd seen before. It was both briefer and brighter. The event was given an official designation AT2018 Cow, but it soon went to be more a jovial nickname. They just called it the Cow. It was a short-lived event. It was also known as a transient, defying explanation. Some thought it might have been a star torn apart by a nearby black hole, but others favored a failed supernova scenario. And so they started really watching this thing. Apparently, this was a complete surprise. Astronomers weren't sure what they were looking at when it appeared. But the Camel, which is the new thing we're talking about, was like they say, a burglar tripping the new alarm system. We were able to realize what it was within a few days of it going off. And it turns out that it was a black hole eating a star from the inside out. And remember earlier I mentioned my watch. I wore this guy for a reason today. This is what they call the Casio because it is similar to a famous, much more famous real oak watch. I'll Leave that as an exercise for the listener or viewer to find out. But basically, there's a company here called IFL Watches that either is partnered with Casio or modifies them. They sell for $650 each, though. So this is the same exact watch that I have here that I paid $100 for, with some colors, and now it is $650. What do you think about that?
Funny how.
Yeah, I don't know. And I am a watch collector, and I still don't know why I'd pay this watch. So the ISS ditches 2.9 tons of batteries. It is now considered to be the most massive piece of space trash ever. It's a pallet that was packed with old nickel hydrogen batteries. This is a photograph of it taken by the robotic arm as it's being ejected. It was orbiting 265 miles above Chile when the photo was taken from the ISS. And I wonder what's going to happen to it. Apparently, it will stay in low Earth orbit for the next 2 to 4 years before it will burn up harmlessly in the atmosphere. They say that there is no threat of the pallet smashing into other space objects, but they're still going to be tracking it by U.S. Space Command. Mm-hmm. The Vatican, this is some bummer news that I made me angry. What do I play for that? Do we have an angry one? We do? Yeah, here. We'll do this one.
I do what I feel.
The Vatican says the Catholic Church cannot bless same-sex marriages. Boo. Where's our boo? We're going to do a boo for that.
No, you said it.
And this one.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
The Roman Catholic Church cannot bless same-sex marriages no matter how stable or positive the couple's relationships are. The Vatican said on Monday, the message approved by Pope Francis came in response to questions about whether the church should reflect the increasing social and legal acceptance of same-sex unions. Does the church have the power to give the blessing to unions of persons of the same sex? Negative, replied the Vatican's Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, which is responsible for defending Catholic doctrine. The church says its answer regarding same-sex couples declares illicit any form of blessing that tends to acknowledge their unions as such. The message underlines the church's insistence that marriage should be limited to a union between a man and a woman, saying that same-sex unions involve sexual activity outside of marriage. In the Vatican's view, same-sex marriages are not part of God's plan for families and raising children. So what do you think about that? I have a feeling that you don't like it either. Netflix has gotten 35 Oscar nominations, including 10 for Mank. Mank. I watched Mank. And it has Gary Oldman in it. It's directed by David Fincher, two people I love, in a movie I didn't love that much. What are you going to do? Netflix also got The Trial of Chicago 7. That has 6 nominations. I did enjoy that one, including Best Picture and Best Actor in Supporting Role, Sacha Baron Cohen. Crip Camp, a film from the Obama's production company Higher Ground, nominated for Best Documentary Feature. And My Octopus Teacher, a friend of mine just told me that she watched My Octopus Teacher and that it was really heavy. I still haven't seen it, but it's on my list of things to see. But the more people talk about how big of a deal it is, kind of like the less ready I feel to see it. You know Robinhood, right? Well, there's a new company, Gatsby, has raised millions to take on Robinhood. Millennials and Gen Zers seem interested in investing more than ever. As a result, the number of startups has emerged in recent years, giving them more options. One of them is Gatsby. It has raised $10 million in a Series A round of funding, including Techstar Ventures, Beta Bridge Capital, a network of super angels, and apparently it's coming out to try and eat the lunch of Robinhood. So we'll see what happens with that. Definitely one to watch. And yes, I understand that I should have put the two watch articles together, but here's another watch article. This is a very cool wristwatch from Tokyo Flash, Japan. It has a display that's inspired by a graphic equalizer, but instead of displaying audio frequencies and volume levels, its green dots light up to indicate the current time and date. It is an oversized watch. It uses an LED backlit LCD panel to create the effect, and it has a black or a silver case. And here is a video of it. So you can see, it says, change the way you think about time. So check that out. I don't what I don't understand is how you're supposed to actually read this thing. Because this is a lot of pomp and circumstance here showing this video. It's nice and loud too, isn't it? Okay. All right, you're not even showing the watch. Why is it so loud? So if you look at this, get out of there, banners. How do you even tell what time it is? I mean, it's cool, but it's not really showing you the time. So anyway, that's actually all I've got for you today. It's been a half an hour. And I would like it if you could support the show on Patreon. Patreon.com/Dan Benjamin. It helps. And you're here, and you're watching, and you're listening. And this is not free. This is value for value. So go head on over to Patreon/Dan Benjamin. Give me a couple bucks. Before you go, smash the like button, subscribe, and hit the little bell so you know when I do the show. And, of course, last but not least, I'm Dan Benjamin, and I am around on Twitter, but even more on Instagram and here on YouTube at Dan Benjamin. Pretty much everywhere you go at Dan Benjamin. And I sure do appreciate y'all listening and tuning in. And I think we're back to a regular schedule again this week. So I'll see you soon. Have a good one.